Hi everyone, my name is Tanner Hugaboom, and today we're going to be going through my Strengths Quest and the top 5 strengths that I had identified while going through the Gallup quiz. So to kind of start things off, after going through it, my top 5 strengths are competition, restorative, strategic, context, and achiever. So we're going to start out here with competition. This is very easy as far as um, anything in life. I would say most people, specifically myself, are naturally motivated to be the very best, driven by their talents and what they can accomplish, motivated when they are compared to somebody else. They're not content with their performance, and they try to incorporate activities into their life that'll lead to self-improvement. So this is a big thing for me, not only at work or school, but it's also in my personal life as well. When it comes down to work, I always try to do my very best. There's certain reports that we work that need to get done in a specific amount of time. Me personally, I like to try and get those done as soon as possible and be the first one done. Not only to show that I can get the work done, but I would say time management is also a big thing that goes into competition. And stuff like that. So as far as my personal life and school are concerned, again, I strive to be my very best when it comes down to school and get things taken care of as soon as possible and meet those deadlines and, figure out what I want to do next. One of my biggest things is as soon as I get done with this bachelor degree, I want to move on to something bigger and better and try to accomplish something more, whether that be a master's degree or go back for another bachelor's degree in a different area. I'm just not going to stop or be content with what I have already completed. There's always something more that you can do to improve upon yourself and basically relay that to the others around you to not, make yourself better, but also make them better. So this is, like I said, this is a big thing for me. Personal life wise, I'm a big sports guy, so being the best is always one of the biggest things on my mind. I actually just got done with volleyball not too long ago this evening, and we. I guess it's hard to explain because I'm 24, and the guys that I play with are definitely quite a bit older than me. It's actually a rec department with guys that are around my dad's age, which is about mid 50s. But even playing in a league like that, the competition is definitely very high. Everyone's trying their very best, and losing is not something that anyone wants to do. So everyone gives it their all and tries to motivate themselves and everyone around them to do better than what the current situation is. So moving on here, we have the restorative trait or strength. So basically, with this, you're always looking to enhance a process, find fault within your own and others' talents. You have the ability to reason when making decisions. You're identifying strengths and weaknesses that each person brings to a group, and you regularly study your mistakes. I really like this strength because there's always something that you can improve upon. A lot of people talk to the strengths of individuals. I like to talk to the weaknesses because the only way that you can become better at what you're doing is to identify what those weaknesses are and improve upon them. Without that, you're going to be definitely very strong in one area, but you're always going to have that one area, possibly 2, 3, or 4, that you're going to struggle in, and you're going to have to rely on somebody else to help you pick up those pieces. And the photograph that I have here, or the image that I have with this slide, goes perfect with that because you're basically piecing together a puzzle, between yourself and others, along with processes at work. One of the biggest things that we do at work when it comes down to downtime is looking through our processes and finding ways to make them more efficient, basically enhancing them so the time that we take to go through a specific process can be shortened. We also have things such as what we call it as a customer-focused feedback form, but basically it's a form that you can send to other associates in the company and either compliment them on what they're doing or send them a coaching opportunity, which is something that I would say most people use as the coaching opportunity, because it gives you a chance to reach out to that individual, let them know of what they had done incorrectly and what they can do in the future to improve upon that. So at US Cellular, again, we're always looking to improve upon what we're doing and improve upon the processes that our associates follow, and ensure that everyone is doing things correctly, so there are no mistakes that are going to be found later down the road and can cause some pretty big hiccups for everyone. So moving on here, the third strength that I have is strategic. Basically with this, you're creating solutions and finding the right answers, analyzing lessons of the past for future situations. You labor long and hard to identify what is actually causing a situation, an event, or a predicament, whatever you want to say. And you're piecing together causes and effects of previous events, for alternate routes to what you're trying to achieve. Again, this is a big thing that, we use at work. It's a big thing that I use during school, as well as in my personal life. As far as school is concerned, I constantly apply this to, quizzes that I take, or papers that I write, or homework that I complete. If I have a bad paper or I have a bad quiz, I'm always looking back on the reviews of those and trying to figure out where that mistake was and why I got it wrong. So as far as the future is concerned, if that question ever comes up again, I'll have the right answer. It's the same thing as far as work is concerned. There's many reports, as I mentioned previously, that we work, and there are certain times where somebody makes a mistake, and we have to go back and analyze that and try to figure out what we can do to improve upon it. So a lot of the times we're going back, not just a week or two, but we're going back, a couple months, if not a couple years, and trying to piece together what exactly happened that led to what we're now finding. So it's actually, as I mentioned in here, you labor long and hard to identify what is causing that problem. That's actually something that we do every day, and again, try to improve upon it once we do find the answer. My next strength here is context. So again, intrigued by history's significant events, studying humankind, mastering facts more easily when your teacher or expert cares about you, and you like to spend time with people who appreciate history, so, just like you do. So I find this one to be really interesting, because I always said before I went to WCTC and was pursuing a network support degree, and now at WLC and pursuing a business management leadership degree, I would say that if all else fails, I'm going to go back and be a history teacher, which is pretty cool, because history has been one of my best subjects, and I really love it, specifically World War II. My grandfather was in World War II. It's always been something that has intrigued me. The events that took place, and just, the amount of, loss is just so astronomical that for whatever reason, it just really sparks my interest, and I love reading about it. It's pretty, I guess the interesting part is that even at work, when we have downtime, or if I'm working on a report, I always have some type of a YouTube video running in the background. Most of the time it is history documentaries, and I'm just kind of listening along with the events that took place, even though I pretty much know them already. It's just nice to hear a different point of view and see how people like to perceive things. The nice part, I guess, continuing on from that, the other nice thing is that I have a guy that sits next to me at work. He's also a big history buff. We both enjoy talking about it, so it's nice to be able to surround yourself with somebody that enjoys the same things. Kind of getting back on track, so to say, looking at school and then context. Basically, you're taking tests and homework and papers, studying what has happened in the past, and making corrections to that. So this is another one of those big things that I think this is closely related to the strategic strength. Again, looking back at history, identifying problems, events that are frequent or recurring, stuff like that, and just making the corrections as necessary. My last strength here is achiever. This is a big one for me. I think everyone should have this strength at somewhere within their top 5, because nobody should be content with where they're at life. And again, that's just my personal feelings on this. But everyone should strive to do bigger and better things with their lives. I've always said to my parents, my fiance, that as far as my future is concerned, I want to strive to be something bigger and better than where my parents were. I want to make more money. I want to do something, more exciting. I want to aspire to be something, like I said, bigger and better than what they were growing up, or being in the workforce. So with achiever, again, you aspire to be a leader. You're motivated by deadlines. And you're more efficient and effective when you have a deadline. You refuse to let anyone take charge. And that could be of your life, as it says here. That could be of work. That could be just about anything. You enjoy working hard, and low performers in a group tries your patience. Which, me personally, I really do like this strength, because, I strive to be something great. And I think everyone should have that same feeling. One of the biggest pet peeves of mine, especially in school and even in work, and I think that this is where it kind of ties in, is that, in a group setting, sometimes you do get individuals that are low performers and are just trying to do the minimal work to get by. And for me, that's very frustrating, because I always try to do my best. I try to get the best grade possible, and really take charge of that group setting, making sure that everyone is getting their work done. And if there's one or maybe 2 people that are just content with that minimal effort, that's not only bringing themselves down, but it's bringing everyone down with them. And that really frustrates me. And at that point, that's kind of where I step in and try to get the work done for them. Obviously mentioning that to a professor or a teacher, and just letting them know that, this is something that had happened. This is why we had to step in and get this taken care of. But, again, I enjoy working hard. I enjoy getting a very good grade. And I don't like having others around me, doing that minimal effort to bring me down with them. So, again, that's just kind of a wrap-up of my 5 strengths. I ended here with a quote from Vince Lombardi. I'm a big Packers fan, and Vince Lombardi is one of the most inspirational individuals that this world has ever seen. And the quote that I chose from him, the measure of who we are is what we do with what we have. This is a huge quote. It's very strong. It says a lot about life, and where you want to go. So, measuring yourself and what you are is how you take life day after day. No matter what you have, it depends on what you do with it. You could have, a job at McDonald's, and I'm not going to bash a job at McDonald's or anything like that, but, a lot of people make that work for them, because they, not only see that their job doesn't pay all that well, but they're taking that into consideration and making the best of it, which is great. Everyone should have a positive outlook on life, and again, strive to be their very best. So again, this is one of my favorite quotes from him. Again, measuring of who we are is what we do with what we have. So I hope everyone takes that to heart, and tries to be the very best with what they have in life, and strive to be something greater than what they currently are. So those are my 5 strengths. I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation. If you have any questions for me, definitely let me know. I'm more than happy to answer your questions and get you some answers to them. Feel free to email me, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thanks.